This video will show you an easy way to do integration by parts. However, the function that is to be integrated should be of the form px times gx, where px is a polynomial. Now, a polynomial is an expression of the form a0 plus a1 x to the power 1 plus a2 x to the power 2 plus and so on plus an x to the power n, where this n is a non-negative integer, that is n could be 0, 1, 2 and so on, and this a0, a1, a2 all the way up to an should be constants, and this an should not be a 0, otherwise it won't be a polynomial of order n. And gx is a non-natural logarithmic function. For example, gx cannot be equal to natural log x. Let's learn this method using a couple of examples. The first example is we have to integrate x squared times sine 3x. Here this x squared is a polynomial and sine 3x is a non-natural logarithmic function. So we could apply this method. This is how this method works. Let's write differentiate and integrate as here. Then what we do is we would take this polynomial part, that is this x squared, and write it under differentiate, and then we would take this sine 3x, that is the rest of this whole expression, and write it over here. And then what we would do is we would take this polynomial, that is x squared in this case, and differentiate until it becomes 0. So let's do it. When we differentiate x squared, it will become 2x. When we differentiate this 2x, it would become 2. And when we differentiate this 2, we would get 0. And then we would take this sine 3x and integrate it the same number of times that we have differentiated on this side. We have differentiated 3 times, so we are going to integrate this sine 3x 3 times. When we integrate sine 3x, it would become negative cosine 3x divided by 3. When we integrate it again, we would get negative sine 3x divided by 3 squared, and we would integrate it again, it would become cosine 3x divided by 3 cube. And then what we would do is we would take this first row, first column value, and we would pair it with second row, second column value, second row, first column with the third row, second column. Likewise, we would pair this one with this one, and we would ignore this value and this value. And then what we would do is we would use positive and negative signs alternatively over these lines, beginning with the positive. Let's do it. That's positive, that's negative, and that's positive. And then the answer would be positive x squared times negative cosine 3x divided by 3, negative 2x times negative sine 3x divided by 3 squared, and positive 2 times cosine 3x divided by 3 cube. So that's what you see over here, but this is an indefinite integration, therefore we have to add a constant. So that's the answer. By further simplification, we would get this as the answer. Let's check this to see whether we have got the correct answer. So how we would check this is we would take this answer and differentiate it to see whether we would get the original expression, that is x squared times sine through x. So let's do it. Let's differentiate this answer. Then we would get this expression. By further simplification, we would get this expression. We would end up with x squared times sine through x. That is the original expression. So we have got the correct answer.